All right, this just went live, I believe. Actually, the visual's all wrong, but whatever. I'll change the the view of it, or the icon in a minute. Let's go to here. Well, no, I'll do it after I'm done. So I'm working on WorldMap this time. This is another task, but this one is based on creating one of 3 different maps I'm going to generate for this game. Um, so before I explain what I'm going to do with the map, I want to explain a little bit about why I feel like I need 3 different types of maps. This is not a 3D game in the sense that players play where they see 3D characters, 3D cars, 3D walls. This is a fully 3D game, which in my opinion is not something I've seen very often. And when it's done, it tends to be very confusing. We tend to think in this very flat plane of existence, and our designs in games usually do the exact same thing. So we have a racing game. Everything is set on a flat ground. You know, there's hills, there's areas where it rises up, or you have jumps going from one spot to another. Or even if it is a fully 3D track, it's still one track where you're following along that perspective and you're stuck on a track. And in this game, I want to be able to have the player driving around all over the place on any of these surfaces, anywhere, and discovering what's going on inside of this world. So right now, they'd be like this. I am completely upside down. I'm on the ceiling right now. There's the ground somewhere down that way. The actual ground. There we are. Now, in order to make sense of the map, that's not something we're used to doing up here. Most players are not in that mental space. So I need to make sure I bring as much of that 3D comprehension to them. So I have 3 different maps in mind. One is a 3-dimensional map where I have a camera taking a 360-degree shot from the center. And that 360-degree shot is it's only capturing one layer. Now, every car in here, not the buildings, but every car is going to show up on there. And it'll just be a dot. So our car will show up with perhaps a green dot or something like that. Well, other cars will show up with yellow dots, background cars or something like that. Maybe little silver whitish blips. I'll have to decide and see. Trucks will show up with maybe blue blips. These are targets that I want to go after. And then there's freight. So those are the key objects inside of the game that I'm going after, as well as icon targets. So there will be the mechanic shops, there will be race starting points, and there will be recycling depots, or the centers where you deposit the cargo you get. All right, so this is the first one. I just want the 360-degree map. All right, so now to do this, I'm going to need a texture to store the information. So first off, let's go over to data. Note that this is not in textures. I think when we're organizing stuff, we have this tendency that if we're using an image, that we're going to be storing that inside of textures. And I think that can make sense. But I think in this case, this is a constantly changing texture. So rather than viewing it as a texture, it's more like a video. But it's not a video. It's very informationally dense about what's going on in the current state of the game. So in that case, it's current state of the game. It's data. So minor thing, but mentality difference. All right. So inside of this, I'm going to go create folder maps. And then create, and now I need a texture. Where is this one? 2D. Material, no. Rendering, okay. How about a render? There we go, a render texture. So this is a texture that is designed specifically for us to constantly be updating it and for it to come back out, but then be rewritten again every frame. So the GPU is not going to retain this, or it'll keep being overwritten. I don't know the exact state of how Unity deals with this under the hood, but it's certainly different than a regular texture. A regular texture, when you first load up Unity, should be getting pushed onto the graphics card, assuming that the graphics card has enough space for all of it. All right, so we've got this one, and now it needs a resolution. I'm going to put it at 512 by 512. Okay, it's 2D anti-aliasing. No, I don't care. The color format, I don't need a lot, but I do need alpha in this one. So I need one that has A in it. All right, so what data? We've got RGB and 8. I am planning on using colors, so I guess sRGB. Do I have anything else that matters? If I want to use RGB32, do I want to use that? No, I don't need that much color in this one. I don't need that much color definition. Okay, so we're just going to use 8-bit colors for each one because it's going to be relatively simple. Okay, so sRGB 8, that means it's a 4-byte color going inside of here. But I do get alpha, okay, which is kind of vital to this one. All right, random write. No, I'm not writing. I'm not doing any random writing to this. I just need the entire thing to be there. It'll be written to by a camera. Now, it's been a while since I've used a render texture and setting this up, so I might have to look up a piece of information or two. Let's get rid of zone A. Now I need a camera that's going to be in the middle. So let's create a new camera. Camera. Okay, this one, I need to be able to see the entire world. Projection, no, is not orthographic. Seems like information has changed. So output textures first. I know that one. We'll put this one here, output texture. Now I need this to be a 360-degree view. So perspective, how do I do a 360? I should find out because I cannot see how and where. We do have environment, what was this, output? It's outputting to a render texture, target eye, none, I don't care, both, none. Okay, viewport rect, don't care. Next, I do need to look this up because this is different than I remember. That was a while ago. So let's bring up a search panel. And I'm going to search Unity 360 camera to render texture. I've already got the camera going to a render texture, but maybe there's something special about it. Okay, so go away. So it's suggesting create a render texture. Yeah, I did that. We've got a camera. Yes. Target texture is the camera, is the render texture. We got the display material. Okay. No, I've got that one. I need a 360 Unity 360-degree camera. Okay. So attach the screen unit Equicam. Okay, when I did this before, I set up a camera and it was looking off towards the direction that I was looking. And so if I turned around, I would see what was behind me on the map and I wouldn't get that in that 3D view. So I am making a difference in how I'm doing this right now. Unity camera capture 360. There's got to be a way to do it. It's not built in? Like right here, it's got a 179-degree view. You know what? I think that will be enough. because that should be to either side. All right. Let's put this right in the middle. Now, if I understand right, I think that's a kilometer in either direction. What's the size of these things? Right about there. Okay, so where am I? Oh, well, let's just bring the camera to here. Control Shift F. That brings the camera to where I am, which is about 0 by 500 by 0. That looks close enough. All right, camera is right there. Okay, now camera, what do you see? When I have this camera selected, how do I see what the camera is? Show me the camera view. Thank you. Okay, so now when I change the angle that this sees at, no, I don't want the main camera. Give me camera. Sure, that's just what it's called. Now, if I rotate this, does this... Well, whatever. It's the render texture that this thing needs to go out to. Can I... Wow, I didn't know we could do this. All right. All right, that's a lot closer, but this is not the style I'm used to seeing. Let's see what it looks like on the render texture. Let's put a sphere next to the car just to see what that looks like for now. Okay, so first off, let's go back and let's go find the car. Car. All right, great. We got the car. Now we're going to put a sphere in view of the car, so that should stay in view. Right click 3D object sphere. All right, now go back, select the sphere and drag this into view. And now we're going to go, no, I want the scale. We're going to go up by scale. There. Cool. So this one also can't have a collider. Remove. Now I need the view, I need the material for it. Now in this case, the material feels like it belongs to data, but material's pulling from data in this case, but it's still a material that renders to an object. All right, so create material, and we're going to call this, what was this one called? WorldMap? WorldMap. Okay, there's WorldMap, and the texture is also WorldMap. And so from within here, it wants a texture to be on this. Wait, what did I drag? World. All right, now finally we're going to put the world map right here. Let's see how this one portrays everything. This, I don't want any metallic there. How about an emission? The emission map, I'm going to map out to this texture as well. Yeah. Play. That's not what I want. Emission map, white. Okay, that's showing up. Now let's raise the intensity. Okay, there are 2 audio listeners in this scene. Yes, it's not what I intended. Okay, now if I take the other camera, where is that? Camera. Camera chaser. Wait, where's this new camera I created? Camera right there. Okay. So now if I rotate this around, we see the texture in there wildly changing. Okay. So now point of view. Certainly not what I'm looking for. Okay, so it looks like Unity doesn't have a full 360 view camera. I'm a little surprised by that. I mean, I guess it makes sense. You wouldn't normally have that for rendering to a flat screen. In that case, then that changes the perspective that I want on my camera. I was originally planning to do a transparent texture, and the transparent texture would display things onto the surface, and then I would have the full surface of it being rendered to. So you would see things on both sides. And then changing depending on the angle that you're seeing it, the normal that you're seeing it, you would get a completely different perspective, or it would change the color or the tone. All right, so Unity 360 capture is not possible on Unity. Unity provides several tools and work to work with a 360-degree camera, enabling textures. Okay. Transfers a regular Unity camera into a real-time 360 panorama renderer. Place Equicam. See, now the reflection systems are a 360-degree camera. It's like built in. It's got it there. Can I use the 360-degree shot? 360 capture, open source Unity discussions? No. Capturing a 360-degree screenshot. Unity ignores UI layer. Did you get something that actually captures it? You're using this. Maybe I need to pull that in too. All right. So everything seems to be suggesting using this 360-degree, or at least a 360-degree solution. Let's go over to here and see what they got. All right. That looks correct. Okay, import it. Unity package, sure. Open file. Hey, where'd you go? Oh, fine. Oh, which version do I have? And of course, that goes away again. Running this in 6.4. Open file. Do it. 6.4. Yes. Just once. Okay. Import. Does this work in the version I'm using? Does this work in URP? Okay. So it's getting installed. Where's Unity now? All right. So once it's on there, now what do I do? So simply call the capture or capture async. Okay. Version uses GPU async GPU readback, so it won't work on all platforms or graphics APIs. Okay, I'm going to use a single camera on this one then. So let's go back into this one. We're going to use the default camera that's in here, but let's change the perspective we get. field of view. Hey, good, it updates the camera right away. Let's also adjust the material lighting. So material, there you go, material world map. Now we're going to decrease the intensity. Next, the layers we're going to present on. I'll be creating a new layer for this one. So I don't want to edit the shader. No. I want to edit the layer. Where is that? Camera. Layers. Add layer. And we'll use the 3. What are we going to call this one? World map. Okay, layer 3 world map. Now we go back to the camera, and I only want you to render world map. Okay. Now I need to set this up so I have some items that show up only on here. And let's go to car and create a 3D object sphere. Now I'm going to increase its size. Control, oh yeah, we'll just scale from here. Sure, there you go. And the layer that this one's on, no collider, remove. Mesh renderer, sure, has no lightings, no shadow, off. Now it needs a material. This one's going to be material, and we're going to call this one world map player blip. Okay, world map player blip goes onto the secondary sphere. There we go. Now the color, I believe I wanted green in this case, so let's go with green. Okay, excellent. Now, where is my main camera? The main camera, no, not the main camera. This camera, which I want this to be up nearby there. This one needs, I'm going to go with world map camera. World map camera. Now, it's on this layer, but what layer is it going to render? And everything, nothing except for world map. All right, so somewhere in this, it should see the world map. How are we going to determine where this thing goes? I guess we could just put this thing behind. No matter what, it'll just be behind the car. And then it always views forward. I like that. Just have it move maybe 1,000 meters back. Okay, world map camera, you are now a child of the car. And you are going to match its position, 0, 0, 0. And you're going to match its orientation, 0, 0, 0. And except now its position is going to be back along the z-axis, other way, negatives, by 1,000, negative 1,000. The distance for the camera is going to be 2,000. Camera distance. I really hope that the layers, that when we have layers, that it doesn't have to go through all data in all layers to figure out, first off, here's the object, then what layer it's in. I hope it sorts things by layers first. It kind of seems like it should, but I don't actually know that it does that. All right, so main camera. What happened to, oh yeah, I moved it over here. Okay, render texture. Anything else special about this one? Skybox. Background type. Hey, if I set it to a solid color, can I set it to alpha? Yeah. It's set to alpha. Oh, the material itself. Does the material have a transparent option? Anti-aliasing. I am using the alpha, so it should be in there. All right, so now let's go back over to the world map. And inside of this one, opaque. There we go, transparent. It's supposed to be transparent. Oh, there we go. Recompiling it. Okay. Now, you can kind of see, maybe it doesn't show up in the camera at all, but I can see the outline of where it was. So let's see. Oh, let's go. This is the world map blip. Okay, anything else to turn off? Light probes, blend probes, off. Ray tracing, off. Additional settings per object motion. Hey, come back here. Dynamic occlusion, no. Okay, rendering layer mask. What? Light layer 3. Okay, that doesn't matter to me. And my material is the world map player blip, which should show up. This uses opaque, which, yeah, that's fine. I just want an opaque solid color. I want no metallic. I want no shadows. Hey, what's going on? Okay. Specular highlights, I don't care. Environmental reflections, no. Okay. Almost pure green right now. Albedo alpha. Okay, that gives that one. Now I need to find that blip inside of the view. The camera should be facing the car. Camera rendering, the rotation is the same, so moving it backwards, it should be looking at this. That should work. Which means that there should be a green blip right in the center. Maybe this thing needs to get bigger. So world map blip, let's increase the scale of it. Sure, 100. Make sure it's visible. Save that. Now I need to make sure that we don't bother looking at this while we're inside of the editor or the game, which I thought I just turned that off. Stop showing me the world map blip. What? Isn't this supposed to stop me from being able to see this object? What am I doing wrong here? Okay. Unity hierarchy eye icon. Meaning of the eye icon scene visibility settings. It allows you to control whether the game object is visible or hidden in the scene view. Yeah, that's not working. Am I doing something wrong here? I select a different object that's not selected anymore, but it certainly is still visible. Is this because I created it on a custom layer? All right, let's see what's going on here. First off, let's go over to live stream, set that. Okay. Let's go to here and let's change this. Marked off, comma, but object still shows in scene view. Okay, scene visibility settings. The game object may be hidden in the scene, but still be visible in the game view. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm supposed to be able to hide this by selecting the object and hitting H. Yeah, H marks it, but that's still incorrect. I can still see this flat out. Okay, layer filtering. If the game object is set to a layer that is filtered out in the universal URP pipeline, it may not be visible in the scene view. No, in this case, it is seen. I can see it. Check the layer settings in URP assets filtering property. Where do I find that? URP scenes filtering property. Where do we have? Project settings. Oh, that's probably over in lighting, maybe? Well, it's probably attached to the main camera. Okay, where are my settings? Okay, use it from the render pipeline settings. Settings. I usually keep the settings and then here. Well, the problem is I still want that to show up. I don't want it. What was it complaining about? Layer filtering. May not be visible in the scene view. But this is visible. That's what I want. Isolation mode. If the game object is in isolation mode, it will not be visible in... No, the game object ignores scene settings visibility. I'm a big fan of isolation mode, Shift H, to focus on just what I'm dealing with. I've run into an issue where I've got a heap of game objects that have icons set on them. Icons set on the object, that way I don't follow the scene visibility settings, the eyeball in the hierarchy, which is also used for isolation mode. Instead, the only ways I can find to turn them off temporarily are actually disable the object. Is there something I'm missing, or is it actually unintended behavior? Scene Visibility Manager 48 to check if the object is hidden and only draw your gizmos if it's not. Gizmo being drawn isn't user drawn, it's only created by the assigning an icon. Oh, the clip. They're talking about the icons that show up inside of there. Okay. Not what I'm looking for. Manual scene visibility. Why are my game objects invisible in scene view? Hide and show objects. Happening after the canvas. I couldn't unhide it. I want the opposite. The scene reload fixed it. Okay, let's try that. First off, save. Second off, reload. Just reload. Isn't this the same thing over here? Okay, fine. Where's my scenes? Do I have another one? No. Am I inside of sample scene? Let's rename this one. We're going to call this one game scene. All right, now let's create a new one. Create, and I want scene, and we'll just create a default scene. Sure, whatever. There. Open that one. Open this one. The object is still marked there. Let's see if it is... Is it because this isn't actually saved back to the prefab yet? Okay, well, let's go to the prefab and adjust the overrides. So apply all. But double checking, I get rid of it here and it's gone. But now when I go to the visibility, it's still there. The world map blip, it's a layer. In this case, I want it to be on world map. Whatever. I'll set up a start script. Do I have anything in here? Start event proxy? No. All right, so we're going to create a utility script. Create, and let's put a script in there, and we're going to call this Unity Starter. All right, Unity Starter on Start and Awake. We're just going to put in a couple different things. Public Unity event. Okay, thank you. Unity event, and this one's going to be on Start. Just throw that in here for now. All right, on Start, question mark dot invoke. Wait, but it's not going to start if it's not there. However, I know what I can do. Good. All right, so I've got that car script. Now let's go back into the game. Here I am, like leaning in at the screen trying to find stuff. Where'd Unity go? Why isn't it back up yet? Is it still compiling? What are you doing? That's hub. Oh, I selected hub. Okay. All right, so inside of here we got systems, main camera. We are inside the game scene. Save it. And now over on the car script, I'm going to attach, what was this one called? Start. Unity starter. And now we're just going to add one event to this. And now that script happens on WorldMap blip. And its function is to make this visible. Hey, wait a minute. Can I keep the game view visible? It was the camera doing that to begin with. Let's move the camera down to here. What is that? Is that the blip? And it's rotated 90 degrees? Shouldn't it be black and white? Or shouldn't it be green? Where did it just go? There it is. Where's the little object? Okay, so if I go to, where's the car? And I said sphere. That's it. It highlights it. That's the only thing that's showing up. So it's sort of functioning right now, but it appears to be rotated because that should be directly in front of it. So does that mean a Y of 90? That's the wrong side. Wrong 90. Negative 90. Okay, let's throw that in there and just assume that's the issue for the time being. World map camera, no rotation. Blip is there, but it shouldn't be gray. Oh, and I should get it on both sides of this. Like, you can definitely see the sphere right here. Hey. It doesn't show up in the list, though. That's weird. This is a control right click. You can control right click on something and choose which objects are layered there. So I have the cube and I have the trench showing up. So cube, that's this car, and trench, there's that trench. Now underneath that, there's nothing else. But if I were to click off into a very active background, like here, then I get a bunch of different buildings that start to show up. All right. But that sphere, it's transparent, but it shows the this is not accurate. Expand. Oh, that's interesting. When I do this, if I right click, if I control right click, oh, because I selected the actual object inside of there. So if I go to this one and select the cube, it only selects part of the car. It didn't expand out zones, but I was just clicking on them. Now, what do we have? We have base camera car, materials, scene dynamic. What did I leave off on? All right, let's bring this up. We got the camera. I want to see that extra car blip show up. That was right here, sphere. I need this as world map player view. I suppose this should be attached to the camera. I guess I'll put it on the camera. So let's go to camera. Yeah, open prefab. That's fine. I don't care. What? Okay, so player map, sphere, cut. Delete. Okay, back. And I'll just put it on the other one if I need to. Now let's go over to the main camera and paste it. Okay. Now, where is the main camera at the moment? It's right here, and it's looking up. That green blob really stands out. Hey, wait, I thought I just put this right here. Where did that go? No, okay, I lost it, so I'll just have to place it in here. All right, well, let's just do this. Control-Shift-F, that realigns the camera over to here. And now I've got the view from this side. I can see the tunnel. Let's add a new sphere, and that one is going to be called, not create empty, delete, escape, delete. Main camera, 3D object, sphere. Okay, now we're going to move the sphere. Okay, good. The sphere is showing up. I can see it down here. Let's expand that view out a little bit. Now I need to move that just over to the side. I want it to show up in the camera view, but I don't want it to really block anything. It's still going to be transparent. Okay, so now that I got this one, that object is inside of there, the view's there. Okay, now let's put the new material, the world map material on here. Player blip goes onto sphere, and let's change its name to world map. Do I see a green blip in there? World map view. Okay, let's go take a look at this sphere. Is there anything rendering in here? Yeah, it's rendering right over here. That thing. Okay, so if it's rendering only a portion, then that means it's doing the alpha cutoff. So I need to alter the material to deal with that. World map, and in this one we've got alpha. Alpha, it's not doing the alpha clipping. I also don't want it to receive shadows. I want it to render both sides. I only want it to render on the back. All right, it's transparent, it's alpha, it's metallic. Let's go specular in this case. Okay, that still can't see the blip. Oh, the blip. The camera set 1,000 meters behind me, and the blip, this green blip up ahead, that's at a different spot. So, what is my world map camera able to see? That one. Where is that camera? That camera disappeared. Where's my render texture? World map is just black with a little gray blip in the middle. What's writing to it? Camera chaser. Is this? No. That's the script that just causes the main camera to follow the car. So where did I put that camera? I have no idea. World map camera. Okay, it's a child of this, and its far is set to 1,000. We're going to change that to 2,000. I should be able to get the green blip now. Now let's find out where does it actually show up with that blip. So where is where am I? There's the camera. This is weird. Why is it still only trying to show as if this is the physical material of the object? World map render texture. Let's just increase this for the time being. I'll go up to 32-bit. So where is this one? Hey, where's my 32s? There. RGBA 32. Sure. Okay, anti-aliasing, I don't care. We got this information. It's map, random right. Yes, sure. We'll put that in there for the time being. I just want to make sure it's going to show up. Okay, so now where in here is my camera view? There. Again. It's only showing this tiny little corner of it. Why? And is that supposed to be a little green blip in it? No, that was something else. Oh, and if it's showing back, it should only show this side there. Okay, so now I can't see through it at all. It's just a gray material that's right there. Why am I getting so many things that seem to be doing something it's supposed to under a different setting? Okay, so on this object, where are we? We have cast shadows, world map view. This one, no, I don't want this to cast shadows. Okay, we have the world map material. Anything special about this? There should be no collider. Remove component. No light casting, no blend probes. That's just, this should not be here. Okay. Wait a minute, I'm doing all this stuff and I haven't even tried playing it. Maybe it's messed up until I actually play it since it's going through a render texture. Okay, it's supposed to be right here. Oh, is this whole thing? Okay, so if I'm here on the main camera, I've got this one on here. The mesh is there. We've got the world map. Oh, turn that off. And now let's put a different material on here just to make sure it's good. Surface 1 onto world map. There. So it's right down here. There we go. Now let's replace it back with world map. Do I get a green blip? I see no green blip at all. Let's go check the render texture. Does the render texture see the green blip at all? That one is over here. World map. What? Preview only supports floating point or normalized. Okay. So it's not happy with being able to visualize it. Oh, I'm using int. Okay. Yeah. We're going to switch this one to use floats. There we go. This one. That's what I meant to use in the first place. Now, over here, what's this? I see something in the middle. How do I change the type? I'm back here. Right there. Okay. Stop. Let's make sure the material keeps its settings. Good. Depth stencil. I don't need a depth stencil in this. None. All right, now Graph API. Render texture must have a depth buffer. Why? It's just a very simple write. There's not going to be that much it has to do. Okay, S8 uint, sure. It's unsupported on this platform. Okay, just that one, I guess. All right, so we have this stuff. No anti-aliasing. Enable compatible format. Sure, whatever. Color format is in there. So we got a material. Play. Let's see what it does now. Okay, do I get anything to show up there? Where's my render texture? Here's my render texture. So if I expand this up and out, got a tiny little spot there. Let's go over to scene view. And again, this is still visible in the scene view. Why does it have to show up here? I suppose an interesting hack consideration would be that there is only a single player in this game, so why can't I just leave the giant green ball there? But then that doesn't solve the rest of the cars that are going to be showing up on here either. So render texture should show this. That's got to be visible to it. Okay, so let's go back and double check that the rest of our settings are showing up okay. No, I don't care about anything there. I do care about what this blob in the middle of it is. 2 audio listeners. Let's get rid of that. I've got this secondary camera that's inside of here following the car. Audio listener, remove. I don't need ECS dots information, remove. Okay, so the camera now needs that. Got it. Apply to prefab car. Yes. So background is considered a solid color. Yeah, I don't care about that. Oh yeah, it's alpha. It's transparent. So if I go to this one and I start increasing that, yeah, then that ball turns to black. So I should at least see it. All right, let's make sure it's there. Play. Is that what's going on? Wait, is this a filter? This is no. This is the background, not what it's writing. But at least with the background, I should get a much better texture to show up in here. I should be able to see that green blip stand out. Okay, let's try it. Over to here, play. I can see the black ball right there. Okay, now let's go over into scene view. Oh, that's so slow there. Where's this view? That's attached to the camera, right? Camera. There it is. There. I see no green blip anywhere. What's that dot? Okay, there's something there. It's not green though. It's just gray. And I've been seeing that in all of these. Why? What the heck is this? Okay, I'm gonna go look up a tutorial. Because either something is broken here, or this is changed, or I'm missing something obvious. So Unity, camera, not 360, render, texture, Unity camera render texture. Okay. No, I don't care. How can I make my camera's render texture with a transparent background? Yeah, that's fine. We're past that one. Transparent background for render texture. No, we just want to use a render texture. Go to here. Okay, render texture can be used to implement image-based rendering. Yeah, projectors, etc. Okay. One typical use is setting them as a target texture property of a camera. Target texture, yes, it's rendering. Can I set the, ooh, let's make a change to this. To begin with, let's make sure that the camera can see all the different layers at once. So over here we have WorldMap camera, and the WorldMap camera is currently only looking at one layer, or it should only be looking at one layer. It's on layer WorldMap, but I want this to be on default. Can it see everything? That's not the one for actually capturing the camera. What does the camera see? Default. World map. Is this everything? Is this why I wasn't getting what I was expecting? I still don't know what the heck that gray blip is right there. But when I select this, it's like, okay, it's showing the whole object right now. And then when I've got the render texture there, we see that whole thing. Okay, so the world map view, this one shows up in the default layer. This thing's moving. Why is it moving? Is the camera moving? Does that mean the car's moving? Car is drifting slowly backwards. Okay. All right, let's go put this world map blip. We're going to set it onto the default layer for right now. So right now there should be this giant green thing here that absolutely should be showing up. So we got the material. This one should be showing up not in lighting. It has no light. Probes, no. Ray tracing, no. All that stuff is off. Okay, it just shows up with this one material. This material, do you have anything special in there? No, you don't receive shadows. That's fine. Specular highlights off. Environment reflections off. Okay, what if I put this camera closer? So let's take the camera chaser. No, not camera chaser. We're going to take the world map camera. And right now it's at -1000. Let's bring it up to say 200. Okay, so that one. Wait a minute, it's way over there. Oh, it wasn't -1000. I just put it at +200. I meant -200. There we go. So right now, wait, where's the camera? It's there. It's got a really wide perspective. I don't need that really wide perspective. Zoom in. I see no change to what it's trying to render. So what if I put an object right here? So create, I don't have that in here. That's inside of this one. I'm just going to create another block. I guess I can scroll it down. No, I don't want it as a child object. I want it. How do I create this without it being a child? Global volume, fine. I'll just create one as a child. Oh, plus right there. Plus, create 3D object, sphere. Okay, great. Now, Control Shift F, so it's right where I am at this camera. Now we're going to drag this one forward. So this other camera should have no choice but to see it. Right there. You're looking straight at it. It is definitely within the frustum view. Let's go over to here to see what the WorldMap camera sees. The WorldMap camera sees darkness. It sees no light. It sees no light. Is that it? The not the global volume. I need another light. The environmental lighting doesn't do a thing on this one. What if I take a material? Let's go put the car blip. This is the materials. We're going to put the car blip on this one. And now for that actual car blip material, player blip, we need to put on an emission level on here. Emission, yes. And it's going to be white, and let's increase the intensity so it should show up on anything. In darkness as well. Let's put a light here too. Create. What are we doing? Light. Directional light. Sure. And let's just make sure its angle matches up. Control Shift F. There. Good. That's a trick. Control Shift F. You look at something the way that you want the light to shine on it, and then Control Shift F while you're selecting the light. That sets the light direction. So no matter what, this should be facing the camera. Why can that camera not see me? It cannot see the sphere. The sphere is on default. Let's try changing it over to WorldMap. Yes, change children. Oh, I have a blip. The lighting. Okay. So the camera is still set up to that light style, but there's no light in the source. If I take off that light, then I can't see it. Okay. But I did get a blip, so I've got something happening here. Now, what about the other one? So this one is using the, what was the material this sphere is using? It's using WorldMap Player Blip. So there's another one just behind it over there. It should be able to see it. Its field of view, let's select the camera. Going to the WorldMap camera. Let's make sure that's within the frustum view as well. Yeah, that's well beyond it. It should absolutely be able to see it. And even if the buildings were in the way, it should still be able to see this one. Unless it's disabling here is killing it in this side, but it's not. Okay, so over here, it's layer. We're going to switch it back over to world. Now that one's showing up. Does that mean over in my map view, if I go back over to game view, I'm going to get that one? Here I am, and I'm glowing. Okay. But the range of view is pretty terrible on this one. So let's go back over to this camera, and we're going to increase the field of view. The field of view is rotating the whole thing over to the side. Well, that's unexpected. Okay, I'm going to have to come back to this one later. All right. I'm going to sign off for at least a few minutes and take a break. All right.